So you have this like totally awesome encounter with Pope Francis on your recent trip to Rome, and then you come back. What was the reaction of your co-workers at the Chancery?
Well, they asked me what was it like, and let me touch your hands that touched Pope Francis, and how did you feel, and what was he like? Was he like he is in the pictures on television? And I say, yes, he was, and yes, you may touch my hands, because I want to share the experience, because everyone is so happy and joyful about this happening, you know, with someone that they know and encounter each day.
So what was it like to meet Pope Francis?
Well, it was unreal. It was I just wanted to hold his hands and not let go, and it was an incredible experience, just unforgettable that I was that close to this man who I have admired greatly from day one and loved with all my heart from day one. There's something very warm and welcoming and loving and receptive about him. He's just there for everyone, to be our Holy Father.
Was there any kind of rehearsal or words that you had thought of before you approached him?
Well, yes, I kind of had words, and I'm not sure they came out right. I didn't have a lot rehearsed. I was just couldn't believe it was going to happen, but I did tell him that it was an honor to meet you, Holy Father. I said, you are a light in the darkness for us, Holy Father, and I thanked him. That's what I meant to say, and I think it came out okay. I was very joyful and very excited, and just so happy to be in his presence and that close to him.
Being as connected to your Catholicism as you have been, how do you feel about this?
Hugely privileged. I'm just a small little person in Knoxville, Tennessee, a speck on the earth, and thanks to Bishop Sticca and Cardinal Regali, they made it possible. I don't know how. I believe it was complete divine providence and nothing other than that, because it was such an impossible thing to happen, especially to someone like me, a most unlikely candidate for something like this.
How did this whole meeting come about?
Well, I was told that because of His Eminence Cardinal Regali, that he was going to look into this about a month or two before we were to leave for Rome, and I was told I had about a 75% chance of meeting the Pope, and I was completely shocked. I never dreamt anything like that would ever happen, and I didn't really entertain the idea very much, because I couldn't imagine that happening and really taking place. And so I just waited and waited, and just a few weeks before we were to leave, maybe a month before we were to leave, it became a larger reality, and I realized that this was a possibility and it was probably going to happen. And I would have butterflies come over me, and I really did not believe it was, I couldn't believe it until it really actually happened, and until I was in that moment.
How long was the encounter with the Holy Father, and did you know what you were going to say?
Well, the encounter was just a few moments long. Bishop Sticca introduced me as his receptionist at the Chancery, and a secular Carmelite, and a few other things. And the encounter wasn't it seemed like a long time. The Holy Father did not say anything directly to me. He mostly was just very loving and receptive, and responded to what I said, and he would just nod his head and just lovingly look at me, and just approvingly and kindly, gently was there. His presence spoke volumes. What
does it mean to have met Pope Francis?
It means everything to me. it's taken a long time for it to sink in. I've only been back maybe 5 days, and sometimes it swims over me and I burst into tears at the whole experience of being there and being in his presence of this incredible man. I always, for many, many years, I've had a great devotion to the saints, a deep devotion. I've read everything available on saints. And I asked the Lord if I could meet a saint one day, that I would know that I was meeting a saint. And I believe he granted that prayer when I looked into Pope Francis's eyes, and I realized I was looking in the eyes of a saint, a living saint.
Well, again, you come back and you almost have gained this celebrity status. You're on social media. What's that whole experience been like?
Well, I knew there would be some reaction. I didn't realize it was going to spread like wildfire, and which it has. I can't go many places where people said, I saw you on Facebook, on Bishop's Facebook, and you have met the Holy Father, and tell me about that. And I didn't expect this kind of response, but it's been a huge response. Everybody is just so happy, you know, and want to share that experience with me.
Do you have a sense for when you met him and you looked in his eyes, his humanness, the human side of the Holy Father?
I did sort of have a sense of that he was a simple man. He was very gentle, loving, fatherly, receptive. He didn't want to put himself in the situation. He wanted to hear what I had to say and what I was there for. And he was just a warm, grandfatherly type of figure that is just very welcoming and loving and giving.
You're well connected, obviously, to your faith and deeply rooted in your beliefs. How will this meeting, if it can at all, change you?
I believe it. I believe I will never be the same. It will deepen my love for the church. I love the church more than anything. It's my life, and I have given my life for the church. This was just a reinforcement and an affirmation of my path in serving God's people and His church. And it was a real boost and a real shot in the arm for me to be able to meet the father and the leader of this beautiful church.
This wasn't your only meeting, I guess, with the Holy Father. What was your few days there at the Vatican like?
We attended 2 masses. The particular mass that we met our Holy Father was the Santa Marta Mass in his private chapel that he says his daily Mass. It's a small chapel. We were able to attend that Mass in Italian, and very close to our Holy Father, and some clergymen, a few lay people. And we did attend another Mass with the Holy Father at St. Peter's Square, where all the faithful were invited, and that was for a Mass for the elderly and the grandparents. And we were also able to see Pope Emeritus Benedict, who also came not to the Mass, but before the Mass and the ceremonies before the Mass.
Well, in addition to your trip to the Vatican and your meeting with the Holy Father and seeing Masses and attending Masses, what was Rome like?
It was an incredible experience for me. I have never done anything like that before. And Rome was what I had thought it was. It was a bustling city, all tourists, but there was something very hospitable about Rome, and but the whole Rome revolves around the Vatican, around St. Peter's Square, and around what is the Pope doing that day. And I love the long meals and that being with other people, and it was a busy city. It was a fast-paced city, and but it was yet still an ancient city.
How is attending Mass with the Holy Father different, if it can be, I guess, from attending Sunday Mass?
Well, it was particularly different in the Santa Marta Chapel. It was very profound. There was something very solemn about being there with the Holy Father and with the few clergy that were there. Everyone was just really, I think, absorbed in what the Pope had to say, and his every movement and every part of that Mass. Pope Francis was profoundly recollected and very prayerful and very serious during his Mass, and it was a very solemn experience.
Will you go back, do you think?
I see myself going back one day. I will never, ever have an experience like that one last week ever again. I can't imagine, but I would like to go back one day and visit those magnificent basilicas and churches and tombs of saints and walk the ground that the saints walked on, and St. Peter and St. Paul.
I know it's not easy, but if anyone were fortunate enough to have the resources to go to Rome, what can you tell them about your trip and your connection and how important that is to Catholics to go to the Vatican?
I really think every Catholic should try to make a pilgrimage to Rome, to give a real boost to their Catholicism and to increase their love for the Church and to see the universality of the Church, to see its immenseness and see where it begins and where it happens and where it filters out. And there were people from all over the world there, and that was pretty incredible to see that, and to see, the Holy Father there in the St. Peter's Basilica, which I've seen on television all my life, and to really be there was an incredible experience.